Oh, check out this jackass. Is it you new aliens in Star Wars? Sorry to burst your bubble, catfish, but no. Oh. Misa Jar Binks. Wait, what's happening? Misa Jar Binks. Misa Jar Binks. Misa Jar Binks. Misa Jar Binks. Misa, stop it, both of you. Put your hands down, stupid. Not you, stupid. You, stupid. Knock it off. Misa Jar Binks. That's it, I'm done. Jackasses. There you go, baby Groot.
You suck. Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another Marvel Legends review. Kind of. This is actually not a Marvel Legends figure, but a knockoff of a Marvel Legends figure. This is the KO Build-A-Figure Groot. I found this on Amazon.com for $8.99, and the reason that I got this figure was, well, I wanted a Groot figure, and I really didn't want to spend the $120, $130 on the other figures, because I only liked about half of the figures in the set. So, I was going to get it, and I may still get it at some point if I can find the figures cheap enough, but I already had a Rocket figure from a different line, so I'm like, yeah, I want a larger Groot to go with it, and $8.99, I figured, why not? Now, looking at this figure, it's actually very different from some of the KOs that I have seen out like on eBay and such. There was a version that had a ton of green paint on it, and when you actually looked at it, it was built very, very different. This is done a lot better. It's got actual pin joints in the elbows, which the other knockoff I was looking at that had a lot of green paint had screws in the elbows. This actually has pin joints, and this one has jointed knees, which the other one did not. Now, like all KO figures, it does have its flaws. The flaws with this figure, it doesn't like to stand all that well. This leg right here is a little bit loose, and this arm is super loose. And I'll show that when we talk about the actual articulation of the figure. But I will say that I do like the sculpt. They did a really good job with the sculpt. It looks like the Build-A-Figure. I think it's a little bit shorter than the Build-A-Figure, but that's okay. And the paint apps, it's barely got the moss on it, which I really, really like. And then it's got the brown, obviously. And then one thing that really kind of surprised me when I was, because when it came in the bag, the legs were not attached. So I had to attach the legs, and when I did it, there is a button on the back of the figure there, if you can see it. And you push the little button, and I didn't realize that was there. And if you notice, there's a little piece on his chest, and it's got an LED, because, yeah, I don't know. You need an LED for some reason. So, yeah, that was kind of weird. But as far as articulation goes, the arms do move up and down. They do not have a socket joint. The elbows have a single hinge, which is very nice. There is, this is kind of weird, so it does have a hinge joint there. It's not a screw or anything. And it actually has the molded joint there on the wrist, but there is no joint. The head itself twists back and forth. There is no up and down motion. Now this arm is super loose. And it actually fell out on me when I first pulled it out, and I tightened this screw up a little bit, and it helped. I may get some floor polish and put in there and try to tighten it up. This leg here is really nice and stiff. This leg's a little loose, but it doesn't hamper it too much. They do have knee joints, unlike the other bootleg that I saw did not, so that's kind of cool. And there is no articulation on the feet. So limited articulation, and you really kind of gotta find the right spot to get this guy to stand right. But once you find the spot, he's pretty darn good. So yeah, not too terribly bad. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the details. So here's a look at the KO Groot's head, and I gotta say, the sculpt is awesome. I love the paint, the green, the eyes look good. They're very well painted. It's got that slight mossy feel to it, which is very nice. It doesn't have too much green going on. I like all the little branches on the head. All the detail on the back and the neck there look really nice. Now we do have a screw hole there, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is a KO figure. What are you going to do? But oh, goodness, the head sculpt really knocks it out of the park for me. The green, just ever so slightly on there, and those eyes, just awesome looking. So looking at the chest of the figure, again, the green paint on the chest, very nice, like the Build-A-Figure, has kind of a mossy look to it, very cool. It's got the chest piece, really well done. The shoulders have some really good detail, but they are missing the little twiggy bits up around the shoulder itself, which is unfortunate, but again, it is a knockoff. We got the button on the back, but we have all the nice detail on the back molding, all the detail there on the arm. Looks really, really nice. I am digging it. But again, the paint here at the top of the chest just looks nice, and of course, we've got the little LED in the chest that's a bit off. Still don't know why they put that there. So taking a look kind of the middle of the figure, we have the hands, very well detailed, the forearms, definitely digging at the upper legs, very, very cool, lots and lots of detail. The fingers on the other hand look nice, we've got his little wooden crotch, you know, not bad, and the knee joints are hidden very, very well. Why they sculpted the joints on the wrist cracked me up. They must have literally just put the arm in a mold, and that's where that came from. It just absolutely cracks me up. I would have liked a little bit more of the paint detail on the arms and the legs, but you know, it's a knockoff figure, and I don't think the Build-A-Figure had that detail either. And finally, just the shot of the feet. They do look cool. I like how they kind of go down and branch out like roots. Definitely very cool looking, but that also makes it for an awkward stand. It really kind of more stands on that left leg than the right leg, because if you look at the root structures, the left leg has a bit more branched out, I guess, so to speak. No pun intended, but definitely you have to find the right spot for this figure to stand, and once it does, I mean, it roots in. Oh, but yeah, I wonder if the Build-A-Figure, if you got the Build-A-Figure, does yours have that problem too? I'd love to hear it. For size comparison, here we have the knockoff Build-A-Figure Groot next to the pizza-eating Spider-Man from Marvel Legends, and as you can tell, he is much bigger than this guy. I wouldn't say he's twice the height, but maybe a quarter taller. He's definitely half a body length taller than this dude for sure, and that works. It looks good on the shelf. Here we have the KO Groot next to the Scott Lang movie Ant-Man. This is the closest thing I've got to a Star-Lord figure in the collection, and as you can see, he does tower over him, and it's a pretty good scale, I think. It looks like the movie scale, where we see him going through the hallways in the prison. I definitely like it, and you know, even though I think this is a little bit smaller than the Build-A-Figure, it works for me. Here we have the KO Groot next to the Marvel Legends Mark 43 Iron Man from the Avengers, and it works. I like it. Of course, Iron Man is a sometimes member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which his figure is one of the figures I did not like in the wave, which really kind of pushed me back from getting the Build-A-Figure. So yeah, the Iron Man I like, and a Groot figure that I like. You know, this works for me. This is a good stand-in, I think, until I actually get the bath. Alright, just to show Groot next to a bigger Legends figure, here's Anti-Venom. He's definitely taller, but definitely a lot skinnier than the Anti-Venom figure is, which is kind of interesting. Again, I think the scale works here. And here's the KO Build-A-Figure Groot with an actual Build-A-Figure. This is King Thor, and I don't know if this scale works or not. I mean, Thor is a god, so he's definitely going to be bigger and mightier than most mortals. But it just seems like he's a little bit too small to stand next to the Thor figure. I mean, Thor looks like he could just trounce Groot here, that's for sure. But interesting to see him standing to another Build-A-Figure. And finally, here's what I really wanted to see. I wanted to see this Groot figure with my Rocket Raccoon figure, and I like it. It works for me, definitely. This is from the smaller scale Marvel line, which this got the cartoon look, and I really, really do like that. And of course, he comes with the little potted version of Groot here, looking all kinds of cute. And they're actually about the same brown color, which is really, really nice. But yeah, I like it. I think it works really, really well. And, you know, I think even though this is smaller, I think it goes in line better with this guy because it is smaller, because that's a smaller rocket. I mean, he's about half the size of the normal rocket, and this is probably, I'm going to guess this is about an inch, maybe an inch and a half smaller than the normal Build-A-Figure. I don't know. Definitely pretty cool looking, though. And I like them together. I mean, we see a lot of scenes in the comics and in the movie where Rocket is up on Groot's shoulder, and this definitely looks like you could pull that off really well, and that makes me very, very happy. So I think for $8.99, it goes very well with this Rocket. And just because I can, here is the little Rocket Raccoon up on Groot's shoulder, and that's awesome. This is definitely the way they're going to get displayed up on the shelf. That just looks really cool, and I'm really happy with the way that looks. It's definitely a good fit. Again, I think if Groot was a little bit bigger, he might be a little more out of scale. So these two definitely looking cool together. So is the knockoff Build-A-Figure Marvel Legends Groot something that you want in your toy collection? Well, if you want a Groot figure and you don't want to spend $130, this is actually not a bad option. While it is a knockoff, it's very well done. It's got the plastic pins in the elbows and in the knees. It's got just enough paint on the figure to give it kind of a mossy look. I think the sculpt on it is really, really nice. They really knocked the head out of the park, and that's really the big thing with this figure. It's got to look like the movie Groot. Now, there are some weird things to it, like the molded joints on the wrist, but no actual articulation, and the red LED in the chest. It's just a weird knockoff thing, along with a couple loose joints. But it is a knockoff figure, and it's $8.99 versus $120, $130. It is a little bit shorter. However, with the Rocket Raccoon figure that I have, this goes perfectly well, and I'm very satisfied with it. So definitely check out Amazon. There he is, the knockoff Groot.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And as always, look for more videos in the future.